What is a naive model? Naive model is the least sophisticated predictive model that we could have. So, the least sophisticated predictive model, the simplest one, the one that needs no machine learning, advanced machine learning, or even intermediate machine learning, or even a beginner level of machine learning. You will see that how simple this model is. We use this model as the benchmark, a starting point. So this is more related to the why, to the reason behind having such a simple model, because we want to use it as a benchmark. So let's talk about the why, the rationale behind it. We have already learned how to work with supervised learning methods. What are they? So what they are, better to say what they are, why we need them, how they work, and when we should use them. So we have learned a lot about supervised learning methods. We learned that we need to measure the quality of fit. Okay, how good is our model? How to do so using performance metrics. So predictive performance metrics. We said that we cannot evaluate the quality of learning directly, so quality of learning should reflect itself in quality of prediction. Therefore, we use prediction performance metrics. So prediction performance metrics. And the prediction performance metrics, we learned that we have accuracy for classification problems, and we have mean absolute error and root mean square error for regression problems. So without these metrics, how can we know whether our model is doing well or not? However, we have not introduced any benchmark. Is 65% of accuracy good or bad? Is 500 British pounds on rent prediction error high or low? So if this is our mean absolute error, is it good? Is it acceptable? Is it not acceptable? And this is accuracy. So we want to have some benchmark. Okay, this benchmark does not solve like all the problems. It's not an omni solution. Okay, it's not a omniscience, but it will help us. So the evaluation of performance metric value is partly a domain knowledge, a firm-dependent concept. Not only a domain knowledge, but it not only related to the domain, related to industry, but related to a firm. If your model is outperforming the previous one used to be used in the enterprise that you are working, then it's a step ahead. So even you join an enterprise, they might have a model that predicts whether a visitor of a website would click on an ad or not, and the performance was 75% accuracy. You improve the model to 78% accuracy, and this is a step ahead. Okay, and as the accuracy is being used, you are following the convention, unless you can change it for some reason to some other metrics. But anyway, in that case, this is the benchmark. And then the enterprise would decide whether this is a good amount, this is a good accuracy to work with or no. They will ask you to improve it somewhere over 85% as a goal. Okay, so these are related to domain, related to industry, and related to firm. There is no universal thing for it. Still, we tend to use performance of the first modeling effort as our benchmark. So if you recall, we calculate, we start with a simple method, a more or less transparent method, or let's say a decision tree. and with all default values, without hyperparameter tuning, without anything. And we use the performance, the metric here, the value of the metric as a benchmark. So our efforts would be focused on outperforming this decision tree with um, all the default values for the settings. Okay, for the hyperparameters, no feature engineering, and no tinkering to improve the default benchmark. Okay, so we use it as a benchmark, and this is also an acceptable practice. However, we want to introduce you to the naive model as the starting point. And why do we want to use naive model? Because it's less arbitrary. Okay, because everyone can start from an identical point if we know the naive model. And from the naive model performance, we go up to a better performance. So we use it as the baseline or benchmark. Okay, so baseline is another term that is used for the naive model. Another term is null model.